Hi, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to talk about how you can save time. And, well, you know what? We should probably say how you can gain time in your life and focus on your priorities. I've been using this strategy for many, many years. It works perfectly. I'm going to suggest that you do exactly what I'm doing. That way, you're always focused on your desired outcome. You know specifically what you're trying to accomplish. Everything should work out really, really well. But you just got to make sure that you're staying focused on exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. So for me, I've always kept a priorities list. Back in the days before the digital era, I was writing things down on paper. Now I simply use my mobile device. I have an iPhone and I use the reminders app, and I have a list in my reminders app called priorities. You might use your notepad or use the notes app or whatever, but keep a running list of what your priorities are, the top priorities. And in theory, you should have them broken down into short-term steps and longer-term steps on what you're going to be able to do to meet your priorities. For me, like I said, I use my reminders app. I have a list in my reminders app that's called priorities. And anytime I come up with a new priority, it might be a short-term or a longer-term priority, I put it on my priorities list. Most of the time, what I do is I just talk to Siri and I'll say, hey, Siri, add, ABC or XYZ to my priority list. Or the old days, I'd write it down in my priority list. But the first thing is, I always have a running list of what are my priorities. Number two, every Saturday morning, I sit down with my calendar. Again, I've got my Apple calendar in my iPhone, and I know what my priorities are. And my priorities are literally put right into my calendar. So if I'm working on a special project for a meeting, or maybe I'm doing something special with a commitment for one of my children, and that's a priority, that goes right in my calendar. I allocate time. It's called block timing. I put it right in my calendar to make sure that that is going to be a focal point of my day. So if I know that I've got a major priority and I need 5 hours of my time, I will literally put 1 hour of time in my calendar every single day. So an hour on Monday, an hour on Tuesday, an hour on Wednesday, etc. So by the end of the week, I've finished my priority, or maybe I underestimated how much time it's going to take, and maybe I need to adjust on Wednesday or Thursday or give it a little bit more time to make sure that I'm working on that priority. Some of the priorities are only going to be a week long. Some of them are all going to be done within a day. Some of them might take weeks or maybe even a month, or maybe it's my annual priorities. But I'm putting those times in my calendar every single day to make sure that within the allotted time that I've allowed for myself, I'm making sure that I'm reaching my goals for those priorities. So, and if you're going to tell me that you don't have enough time to do those things, well, then that's telling me that you're overcommitting yourself. You're trying to do 28 hours worth of work in 24 hours of time. I tell people it's like doing a jigsaw puzzle. I'm hoping that you even take the time on a Saturday or a Sunday or any particular time, one particular day of the week, that you're planning out the next 3, 5, 7 days of your life. Because if you're not even doing that, well, then you really have to look in the mirror and say to yourself, where could you be doing better? Like I said, are you overcommitting yourself? Are you able to say the word no when people are inviting you to do something that's really not in your best interest? Are you feeling comfortable to say no to somebody, or do you feel awkward or guilty or overwhelmed and you just automatically say yes? Or are you spending too much time watching TV, or are you spending too much time doing things that are not really important or not really priorities? So if you really want to be able to make headway in your life, to meet your priorities, to focus on the things that truly matter to you. And by the way, listen to my happiness. I just made a podcast regarding what brings happiness into your life, and what are your enemies in life. Listen to those, because you want to be able to focus and know what your desired outcome is. You need to know exactly what you're trying, and specifically what you're trying to accomplish in life, what your priorities are. Literally put those in your schedule, in your calendar every single day, and say no to things that are not your priorities and say yes to focusing on the things that are your priorities. So that's it. It's really not that hard. You just got to have the mindset. You got to change your habits. You got to make sure that your priorities are, in fact, priorities, and you're making sure that you're scheduling them into your calendar every day. So that's it. Not a long podcast today, but as a quick follow up, again, thank you for listening. Please know that I make a podcast like this for you every single day in those four areas. I think you want to have good health. I think you want to have lots of free time. I'm sure you want to have lots of money, and I know you want to have good habits. I make podcasts on those four subjects every single day. If you enjoyed this podcast and you're looking forward to other ones where I'm short, I get to the point, I'm telling you exactly what you need to do, please consider subscribing to my podcast. Just hit that black button, and every single day I'll send you a podcast that has valuable information. You can listen to it. You can share it with your family. My goal is to help you live a happy life and not have any stress. So that's it for today. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Maybe share it with your family and friends. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Until then, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for listening.